Hi, I'm Gaby and I was a cast member and the costume designer for Good Morning, an art installation and theatre performance that explores our director Hannah's personal story of losing her father. Good Morning was episodic in structure as it explored Hannah's memories and the concept of memories more broadly. And because of this and having a cast of only 4, I naturally played multiple characters and age groups, particularly primarily alternating between about an 8-year-old child and a late teen. Most importantly, I think the 4 of us played together a lot as an ensemble. The show was semi-devised, so as a cast we worked a lot with improvisation during the early stages of rehearsal. I noticed that for this show in particular, the emphasis was not necessarily on learning lines and character building. The emphasis was more so on navigating quite an emotional and sensitive space where we were dealing with the true story of our friend and director. Mark Michael in Theatre Theory and Personal Narrative discusses the risks of putting personal stories on the stage. He details the importance of shared intention, and that for us was exploring grief in a way that was accessible, playful and authentic. So we established this idea through improvisation and brainstorming and sharing our own stories of childhood. For instance, we were guided through an exercise in which we imagined our childhood bedroom and mentally chose one of the objects in the room. From this, we shared this with each other, what the object was, and the memory associated with it. And then parts of these stories became part of the final script, giving the show this sense of shared ownership and truth. So I encountered a few problems throughout the process, one being the way to approach characterising a child. I often found I was drawn to over-exaggeration and I had to refrain myself from playing a caricature. It became evident that I needed to become more comfortable with expressing a child's mannerisms without being cliche or speaking in a high-pitched voice. I looked at videos from the show The Secret Life of 5-Year-Olds, which is a television series that takes a look at the interaction of children within a certain age group. I found one video that was particularly useful, in which one child spoke about the death of his father.
In heaven.
He's in heaven.
Which really informed my performance. It was beneficial for me to observe how a child might navigate that emotional space. I found imitating the unusual emphasis and rhythm that a child uses when talking really helped me. It's more so about physicalization in a non-exaggerated sense and mindset. Like theatre for young people, it's important not to dumb down a character just because it's a child. Children are smart and therefore the way we present ideas for children or content about children must be clever. Frantic Assembly stresses the importance of an ongoing development of physical characterisation in order to find truth in that characterisation. And I found that the more I developed my mindset as a child, the more that was reflected in my characterisation. And this ongoing development was really critical to my ability to show conviction within my performance. So within my performance, I also took on a letter Hannah wrote to her father, which I performed verbatim. Although I was first quite intimidated by taking on such a serious and emotionally significant moment in the show, I found stillness to be particularly effective. When rehearsing the final monologue, I gradually realised that it was important to incorporate moments of lightness and comedy. It was during this point that the true weight of the story I was telling really hit me, but I was able to sort of work through that, and I think it was a good thing overall because it meant I was able to be more honest in my performance. I felt a lot closer with the words I was speaking. Stanislavski, in An Actor's Work on a Role, comments, "It would be a pity if an actor undervalues or overvalues," with reference to emotion of a scene. I think that through a combination of becoming emotionally familiar with the story and incorporating those light and dark moments, I was able to establish that sense of truth and balance. So overall, the experience was really positive and I learnt so much, particularly about the beauty of simplicity and play when those two elements are combined.